In this video, I'm going to show you an exercise that I use for myself and also for my clients to grow thick, blocky abs. This video is not really to be like a new gimmick of, oh, look, this is a new shiny exercise. More to simplify the fact of when you go in to train your abs, a lot of people don't deliberately think, well, what's the function of the abs? Like, how are we supposed to actually train the rectus abdominis? And the answer to that would be just to flex the lumbar spine. So we want to take that in mind and really simplify ab training, work out which exercises when you see the people doing them are bullshit and they're not going to grow your thick set of abs, and which ones are actually pretty good and that they actually will. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon. This is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this. And my promise to you in today's video is that you'll know how to grow thick, blocky abs from really just getting good at one specific exercise. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight into that. So understanding that to train the abs, we want to flex the lumbar spine. What people will tend to do is they will think they're training their abs and they'll sit up and down like this. Bang, bang, bang. Now, if you notice, and I'm pointing here, my torso, specifically the ab area, it doesn't change in length, does it? Now, it doesn't mean there's no resistance. If you think like a plank, there's still resistance on the abs, but it's a static hold. It's an isometric contraction because you're not changing and shortening in length. Now, you would gain more, you'd make more gains if you could train a muscle that changed in length. Otherwise, we would just do static holds all the fucking time, which obviously we don't do. So we want to think, okay, if we're sitting up and down, we're predominantly hinging from the hips. So the hip flexors are taking the brunt of the work. Now, is that a bad thing? Honestly, if you want to be like strong at Muay Thai and leg kicks and like all that sort of stuff, having strong hip flexors is fucking no bad thing. I'm not saying that, but the goal wasn't that, was it? The goal was to grow thick, blocky abs. So we don't want to train our hip flexors. We want to train our fucking abdominals. Now, the exercise I'm going to show you is very easy to replicate. All you need is a bench. And ideally, when you start this off, start it off with the bench as flat as possible just to get this right. I'm actually talking in this video, but to get the audio on with the loom is not the most efficient thing, so we're not going to use that. So you will go down to the bottom here. Now, when you do the exercise, I want you to think you're going to curl your upper body up. You're going to stack your abs, your top abs, against your bottom abs and breathe out as you come out. So you're here, stack them against each other, curl, 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 round, 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 stack them, and just finish at that point there. Because at that point, you've crunched the abs. Think of like a crunch or a half sit. You've crunched, you've stacked the abs. They're like this. They're jam-packed against each other. There's no more of a contraction you can get. At that point, you've finished the movement. It's like the equivalent of doing a bicep curl. And when you get to here, just going, you don't do that, do you? So the same goes for this principle. You don't need to sit up past that point because you're just going to end up hinging from the hips and turning it into a door frame. So here, now don't forget to exhale. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Stack, keep the tension, not on the hips. Pause, go again, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, and keep the tension on there. Honestly, just doing this exercise, you do this exercise, 2 seconds on the way up, pause, 2 seconds on the way down, your abs will be fucking toasted. You may do this and only get 6 reps. That's absolutely fine. Start the gradient flat. How do you progress this? You increase the gradient until it's lower and lower and lower, until the point where like you have to get one of those, you know, the GHD machines where you do the hip extension. You do that and you go back the other way and you train it that way. That's honestly how I would perfect this exercise. A lot of the other exercises you see when people are doing hanging leg raises, it's not a bad exercise, but there is no way you are strong enough to just isolate and only lift up with your midsection. Very, very hard to do that. Now, I want you to also imagine that everything above your abs, this is load, this is resistance that you're actually using, and you can only lift it up with the midsection. You can't hinge from the hips, and all this is locked in and pivoted anyway. So you've got all this as load, and the only way you can train it is by stacking these abs on top of each other. When you picture it like that, when you picture everything above here is cut off and it's load, and you're not actually using it, you really feel how much tension has then been put on that midsection and how fucking like hard this exercise actually is. How do you progress it even more? You can flip the script. So once you've got very strong at this exercise, you can do like 3 sets of 10. The gradient's really fucking steep. Then you can get like a bench like this, and you can keep your upper body fixed and then curl your lower legs up. Like the hanging leg raise, but you see how you'd have supported your upper back? And that way you then can focus on rounding, flexing of the spine. Just think of the function whenever you're trying to train a muscle. What is the function of the exercise? It's to flex the spine. So your spine has to bend. It's the only time your spine would want to bend, to be honest, when you're training. If you're not doing that, if you're not bending the spine, if you're not curling yourself up, you're going to be training the hip flexors, and that's honestly the long and short of it. So this is the one, honestly, this is the only exercise we do. We just double down on this because it works, because it hits the function of the abs. And we just get strong at this. Like, you don't have to complicate ab exercises. Don't get me wrong, there's probably loads that you like and you enjoy. Fine. But honestly, if you want to just train the abs, hopefully this has cleared a lot of stuff up. Now, of course, you need to be 8 to 10% body fat. To get to that point, you need to assess, where's your current body composition, how long is it going to take to get to that point, time frame in between, and then obviously the calories that are going to get you there. If you need any help with that, I've done countless videos on body recomposition. If you want specific help with that, obviously there'll be a link in the description. Book a call, start with me, we'll get you on, we'll roll through a transformation. But I hope this has cleared up how to train your abs. I didn't want this to be fancy, I didn't want this to be new gimmicky bullshit. I wanted to simplify function of the abs. This is how I train it efficiently, and hopefully this has cleared a lot of stuff up. If you think it did, if you found value, only if you think it found value, subscribe to the channel now, and I'll see you tomorrow.